First few years of college, I threw every single day. Of course you want to be a champion. Of course you want to be working towards winning titles.
Be happy, but never satisfied.
Better than ever.
It's time to crown a champion here at the 2020 High School Ultimate Championships. We got the Adam Scott Lions, the #1 seed out of Peterborough, Ontario, in the green jerseys, taking on the Bowmanville Talons, the 3 seed out of Bowmanville, Ontario, in the black and grays. Finals action coming at you. Theo 1 here with Andrew Portwine. Bowmanville here starting out on offense. Jameson working with Averill. You're going to hear those names quite often, along with Shakalar, the handler core right now. Johnston jumping around on the mark for the Lions from Peterborough.
They look so good. Big D. They look so good. I'm excited to see them. They play an exciting brand of Ultimate. Really nice team to watch. Adam Scott, they've held that 1 seed, and they showed that they earned that 1 seed.
We were able to have them on as well, and Johnston was a big part of their success. Same thing with Burns, who's in the backfield. Miller with the disc currently, flipping it back. And now it's Burns. You know he's a shooter, as they say. He's a thrower. Threw more than his fair share of assists in the contest. Palmer on this close sideline. And it results in a drop there from Miller. Tried to get the disc into his hands. Shaklar looking right away. And two-hand spike from Burns.
And Theo, no doubt our viewers can see the rain is coming down in buckets right now. I see Bowmanville's putting a zone on. They're going to force more touches out of Adam Scott. More chance for drops. Wet disc, difficult to catch.
Playing a big role last game was Millets in the semifinal, and their win over Etobicoke only by 2, but they're able to get the victory. Bowmanville had a few more points there on Kelvin to win their semifinal. They both have had a break and are ready to come out in this very highly anticipated but also very rainy final.
Yeah, and we can see that disc just squirts through the handler's fingers. He bobbled it even just on a swing pass. This is going to be an adventure.
Adventure to say the least. Cedar Watson on the mark. 4 female matching players near the disc for the Talons. Redlarski, seeing her first action of the day, was told she just joined the squad right now. Wasn't playing before in the quarterfinals, so getting some reinforcements. Palmer not in. Flipping it back to Burns. Burns finds his target, but it's out of bounds. That was Parker Miller.
The observer right on the line, making that call definitively and quickly for the players to know what's happening.
With the conditions the way they are, you can expect some tricky catches to be made, some throws that, you know, normally get made might not happen because of just the rainy conditions, the wetness of the disc, getting the grip on.
And we're talking, Theo, some pretty good rain. We saw Bowmanville when they had the first pull, came back. First throw of the game was a hammer. They threw an upside down disc. They're confident. They don't care the conditions. They're going to play their game.
Upside down throws, we're seeing more and more of that at this tournament, specifically today. And it's just great to see the development of these athletes with their throws. It's not just about the backhand flicks, folks. You got to have the upside down throws, working through the zone, and in those situations, the throw to Palmer not reaching its intended destination. Jameson picking up, Rowan Jameson, part of that Durham Open Juniors program. He scoobers out to Averill. Makes the grab under some pressure from Burns. Averill just in grade 10 here. A sophomore. Talons, this is an offensive point for them. That low throw was looking for Watson, but it's going to skip to the turf. Johnston working in the zone here for the Adam Scott Lions. 4 female matching players all hovering around the disc, hunting for a block here. Burns, every throw through the cup, but you want to see the Lions break out of that instead of letting the zone set right away.
For sure, that if the disc can move quickly, they are going to have some more open opportunities, make it easy on themselves. There we go, we see some quick play.
It's like they listen to us right now, getting it back in the hands of Burns. Burns working a give and go here, straighting the cup, now popping up a floaty backhand. Averill's there, so it's Millets. Millets takes the better read and gets the score for the Adam Scott break. The Lions up 1-0 here to start things off. Showing some patience through that zone.
Little dicey maybe on that final throw. Floats more than they want with a nice driven throw. That's a nice goal. But good challenge on the defender to do the best they can.
Averill has been a big part of this Bowmanville team, especially in the quarterfinal and their win over the SJR Eagles. He was a big part of the deep space, scooping up multiple throws back there and making some plays. Bowmanville out here on offense. Shackle are going to get another point. See a Crawford out there as well. And Averill making his way onto the field.
It's a bit of a different style from the programs too. We talked about Bowmanville and their history, and they've got a rich history in competing and winning. And here we have first appearance for the Lions, doing very well and representing their school wonderfully. But first appearance Canadian High School Championships, so maybe they're going to start making that name for themselves this year.
I mean, they won an OFSA championship in 2022, so they have established themselves provincially. No, trying to get themselves nationally recognized and winning a final on the stream. Big hammer fakes from Jameson. Shacklear finding it back to Jameson's hands. Got Moher up head. Johnston still in that zone. Burns flying in for the block. Tumbles and keeps possession. Burns. And we saw this before with Bowman.
Good wide play.
Onto the break side there.
Good wide play. We want to see that. Get that cup moving.
Reset the back. Very patient here. Reversing the field now over to Miller. Burns not in quite yet with the Bowmanville zone still staying intact. Flipping it out, and Palmer and Millets there, but neither make the grab.
It was good patience. The final throw maybe on the offense. You notice the zone stayed intact right up to the goal line.
Saw Moher clapping his hands, trying to get the defense pumped up here. It's an offensive point for the Talons on a Bowmanville, Ontario. Hopefully some of their many alumni who have gone on to bigger things in the ultimate world watching at home, cheering on their alma mater. Crawford looking for options, finds Jameson.
Can see they're not afraid to load that upside down throw, even on the fakes. They're looking. Gotta love the confidence.
And it's not just that they're faking them, because they are going to throw it. They just haven't done it quite yet on this point. They've done it going left to right on your screen.
D.
Millets is getting involved everywhere on the field. Burns hits Miller, and that's a break again for the Lions.
Nice to see Miller knows the conditions. He looked that all the way in. Make sure he secures that catch. Don't want any unforced errors with the rain.
So now if you're Bowmanville Talons, you just got broken twice here, Andrew. You got your coaching staff trying to make some adjustments, hopefully, and Chris Beattie, Kevin McLeod. What are you saying to your team on the line right now if you're BHS?
Yeah, I think he's just preaching some patience to his team. 2 points is nothing at this point. They've been in some battles already through the tournament, had some close games and pushed. They're just looking for patience, consistent play, look the discs in and take the safe plays. You might want to holster 1 or 2 of those upside down throws, but play safe.
Any kind of funky stuff, catch, no matter who you are. These are high-level high school ultimate players, but it's just tough with the conditions the way they are. I'm not going to say they're going to try to stay dry, but the throw is tricky. There's a call, though, so hold your horses. Noam Cassirer making a call. Burns being involved in the play. Said his name multiple times. That's Carson Burns.
Yeah.
He makes the team go both offensively and defensively.
Gave that a good swat to the turf to make sure there was no secondary catch. Discussion with the observers. I feel for these observers being stuck out there the whole game, getting absolutely soaked.
Jeff Peters out there, Linda Kudo.
Yeah.
We got our production team on the camera. They got the umbrella going. They're trying to stay warm out here as well. Sarah Eady producing.
Yes, we really should give a big shout out to our volunteers. They're sticking it out in the rain here, manning the camera for us. So
that's serious. That's good stuff right there. Some discussion to be had here with Jeff Peters and Linda Kudo.
Should say we have a very surprise guest appearance here from coach of Marshall, Gareth Colley. You want to have a few words with Theo?
Sure, sounds great.
We're going to, of course, bring you the action, but Gareth, the head coach of Marshall McLuhan, the Rebels, you've been a coach for a while. How was the tournament for your team and kind of overall? What did you see in the tournament, the level of play especially?
The tournament was insanely well run. I was really, really happy with that. A lot of my students first time at the Nationals, even though our team has been here a couple of times. And for them, it was an eye-opener to see some of the experience. There's some great, great talent from many different places all around Canada. It's incredible to see.
Sounds like you've lost your voice, so you've done a lot of coaching this weekend. A lot of giving instruction to your players, right?
It's all instruction, yeah. It's a very loud sport. You got to communicate a lot with the students, but it's worth it. It's worth every minute of it, and losing my voice is a good sign.
And for players, the high school players that want to continue to play, what are some opportunities that they have in the sport?
So, of course, if you're still in the juniors, you do have lots of the elites play that you can join. In Ontario, and I'm sure there's lots around outside of Ontario, and then definitely you've got joining some of the touring in university as well. That's the next step, I think, for them to go.
Yeah, you've produced a lot of players that have played at the high club and even national level, right? A few of those. So that must feel good as a coach.
It's just great to see that they still love the sport after high school and that they continue with it, opening a lot of opportunities, making a lot of friendships, traveling around the world. Great things for them to see. Just really happy that they still enjoy the sport.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Gareth. We're going to get back to the action here, and nice little guest appearance for us.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
As the hammer goes up, Burns trying to play defense. He does just that, as Cedar Watson was the intended person that they were looking for BHS. This is still an offensive point for the Talons. A little scoop over the top from Moher, keeping it onto the offensive side of the field for the Lions squad. They're trying to go up 3-0 here, and you have to think, Andrew, if they do go up 3-0, a timeout's got to be called, right?
Oh, for sure. Bowmanville will have to hit the reset button on that. The coach will have to give a little chat to the team and talk about what they're seeing on defense and what they want to do.
Johnston is the reset right now, receives the disc, swing it over to Moher, and a low throw, not able to be reeled in there. Want to see Averill get a little bit more involved. I know he's a big-time thrower for them, and they might have to go every other to kind of maybe get some of their offense moving. I know for the talents, once they get the mojo going, they can really start rolling here.
Yeah, they can score quickly. We saw that in our earlier broadcast.
They're
not afraid to take big chunk plays and have a 2 or 3 pass point. So they're not out of it by any means.
Gabe Hedrick's out there, number 32, for the Towns buzzing around. But the disc worked its way over to Watson. Tipped but caught and saved by Casserer.
Big thing I'm seeing is the Lions are challenging everything. It's coming down and challenging. Everything is under hot contest.
For the last couple seasons.
So Theo, let me ask you, I know you're
see Jameson out there with no gloves. Casserer with the gloves and not able to catch up on the gloves regardless if you have them. But Adam Scott trying to get that 3-0 lead here. They've had multiple opportunities in the red zone. Miller flipping it. And Millis does come down with the grab. Nice fake to get his mark moving. Over to Burns, and that's a 3rd straight point for the Lions. Perhaps they did. Peyton Davey out there, Vanessa Vine. Ian Lee, we saw him play a big role in their zone defense earlier. Haven't seen much in this final. He gets some playing time out there. Crawford. Caleb. Casey Stolarak, who was a big-time defensive player for them, so she's going to get some time out on the field as well. Timeout for Bowmanville, as we predicted.
Some veteran presence there. They let the Lions go out, go to the line, get some extra time, call the timeout later. He let the bench players go out to the line and kept his veterans on the side to get that extra time. Well done.
What a veteran move there.
Let's see who goes out to the line post timeout now.
That is very true. We're going to celebrate We're back here for first half of the high school national championship final. Bowmanville down 3-0, looking for an answer. We talked about before the break if they were going to chart out a different line. It's the same that went on, so it wasn't like a super meta strategy where they put on some different people. Crawford flipping it back to Shakalar, and Burns swooping in for the block.
I feel like we need to give Burns some type of nickname. He is everywhere in this game.
He's burning the turf or something.
I don't know, I'm thinking like sound or something. He's everywhere, except in a vacuum maybe, but you get where I'm going with this. He's on the D side, he's on the O side, he's impacting almost every play.
I don't think he's come off the field, honestly.
Yeah.
At least so far. It's only been 3 points, or this is the 4th point of the final, but he's been out there buzzing around everywhere.
But he's clearly having a big impact in the game, challenging almost every throw that's in his vicinity.
Some discussion to be had here, and observers, judges, and Lindico coming together. The rain I thought it was going to be a sprinkle today, but not the case. It is coming down hard. Some tough conditions, but you know these players, they're so excited to win a gold medal, they're not even thinking about that.
There's so much rain, it's playing havoc with a little bit of our technical machinery here, so we may have intermittent sound, we may have intermittent video. We're doing our best to try and keep it dry, bring our soundboard.
The camera people got the umbrellas going too. They're trying to stay dry, so we're trying our best here. Thank you for tuning in to Ultimate Canada's coverage. Jeff Peters with discussion here. Going to see what comes out of this.
So I'm told we did lose our audio for a little bit, so full game recap here. Theo, tell us where are we exactly in case we did cut out and people missed a little bit of the action.
Okay, technical difficulties with the weather does happen. 3-0 right now for the Adam Scott Lions. They have not played an offensive point yet. It's been defense only, and they're going to have the disc right now. Johnston working with Burns. If Burns doesn't play junior club yet, he needs to, because he is just tearing up the field right now. A lot of these players, imagine all these players stayed and played with the Durham system. They'd be looking really good right now. It's an all Durham region final here. Ian Lee with the block over to Peyton Davey. Resets over to Crawford. Liam Crawford trying to look deep, but Burns smacking down like a volleyball player. Got the volleyball player shorts on the overkill. And he does a huge spike impression there. Keeping things moving right now, give and go. And now slows things down, looking for Millets, and it's 4-0. All Adam Scott right now.
Tell you, Burns gets the D, Burns throws for the assist. Everywhere.
Bryn Millett, the only junior female matching player on the field. Hard-working player, catching up to her senior level peers here, making an impact, scoring the 4th goal for this Lions team. And right now, if you're BHS, you're starting to go into dangerous territory, down 4 in this matchup.
Yeah, Bowmanville maybe a little shell-shocked, not used to having this much pressure, this much sustained pressure put on them through the course of the tournament.
We have BHS alumni, Nate Ambrose, former Team Canada player, giving some instruction to the offensive line. Good to have some of that experience. Has played for the Durham Hounds squad that I'm sure some of these players on both sides will eventually play for. I'm sure Hound is fingers crossed for that, hoping that they'll make the jump up to adult club in a couple years.
Yeah, the east side of the GTA certainly has been developing with its club scene. Hound has been having some good results in the senior division the last handful of years, and you see the pipeline of junior talent that they now have to pick from, and it's been developing in the backyard, essentially.
4 female matching players results in a pull here from Johnston. Active zone Moher calling a travel of some sort on Averill. It's going to slow things down temporarily. Crawford back out here for this offensive point. Finds Watson in the backfield. The mark going on right away here for Adam Scott. In their first appearance, as we mentioned, and you make it all the way to the final. They're not just happy to be here, they want to win the whole thing, and up 4-0, an inch closer to doing that.
Very active cup as well. One of the top parts of the cup, you can see number 50 trailing down and taking away some of the backfield and some of the play.
Bryn Millett's being involved in that, and now Moher was going to pick up, but going to let Burns onto it. Burns finds his target, and Bryn Millett's once again And it's 5-0 for the Lions.
Theo, I think we were looking for this back and forth match that was going to go right to time cap we expected for the finals, and we're getting just the opposite of that. Very one-sided. Not something I would have expected from Bowmanville, especially coming out of here. We thought they looked really good in our earlier broadcast. We thought they'd challenge and push.
Still have that opportunity, of course, only down 5-0, but the time, time not a factor currently, right? There's only been 24 minutes played. But you know that there's not as much time as you think. You can't just wait forever. You got to make a push now. I know they're up big on Kelvin in their semifinal, but kind of let Kelvin back in a little bit before eventually winning that semi. Perhaps some of that leaking over into this final. Both teams did have a bye. Both teams have played the same amount of games and have not dropped one up until this point. So you got the two squads undefeated marching their way to the final, but right now it's all Adam Scott and this Peterborough side. Same similar suspects out there. Millets, Moher, Johnston, Palmer, and Miller as well.
Good to see Palmer back. I know the last game we had broadcast, she had a couple of plays where she was mixing it up on the D side and took a knock or two. So good to see some health, and she's back on the field.
That pull going to land just out of bounds, allowing the defensive players to gingerly jog on instead of using up some of their energy. Britton Millis is still back out there. Lee, big backhand fake, gonna go. For a 6-0 lead here are the Lions.
You could see Lee was just waiting for that swing pass. He going a little slower and playing patient, methodical, whereas Bowmanville wanted to go quick with.
Through the rest of them for assists, and he's still out there making plays. Palmer's still on the field. It looks like basically the same line is out there for the Lions. The Talons going with a few of the players that we've seen before in Averill, for example, and Crawford. Stolarak making an appearance now on offense.
Excellent. That should give a little shot of energy. She was a very influential player in the earlier broadcast, a steadying force for them.
Lions threatening for a 7-0 half here. I don't think anyone expected this.
Just giving our lens a clean here, folks. If you're watching, we didn't lose the connection. It'll be dark for a moment as we try and defog from some of the temperature regulation out here in the rain.
On offense in the deep space right now. And Williamson. Crawford had Hedrick, but instead settles for Averill in the reset space. Nice and easy here from the sideline. You just need the 1 point right now if you're the Talons, one at a time, and that throw goes directly to Bryn Millets. Moore looking for Millets, and Millets is having a half of her own. Her third goal of the game. It's 7-0 for the Lions, and it's halftime just like that.
The Lions, they can smell the kill. It's like we're out in the Serengeti. They are just hunting and stalking their opponent at this point.
Halftime right now, 7-0. The Lions with a great start, hoping to get their first ever championship and their first ever appearance at this tournament. We're going to take a break as it's halftime. Second half action coming at you from the 2023 Canadian High School Ultimate Championships. We got the Adam Scott Lions out of Peterborough, Ontario with a 7-0 lead at half on the Bowmanville Talents out of Bowmanville, Ontario. Theo Wan here with Andrew Portwine, Sarah Eady, our producer. We got multiple volunteers up on the manning the camera, one with the umbrella, one actually moving the camera, so great to see that help as well. An unprecedented start here for the Lions. Peterborough's finest going up 7-0. Burns going to take it, and he has not taken a point off. I don't see that happening anytime soon. As Vine on the mark, Peyton Davey out there, Wunderlich trying to provide a tall mark here in the zone, but nice flip over from Burns, but it's dropped there. Good effort from Swalls.
So Theo, we saw Bowmanville earlier in the tournament field game. They were trying to strike quickly and go field. We've seen them have trouble with that. The way it's hard to get a full field throw, the grip on the disc, it forces them to not play the style they want to play. We're seeing a little bit of trouble from them trying to shift over and play a shorter game, a little speedy give and go game. They've tried a couple of times.
With Bowmanville's experience at the championships, you know they're not going to go quietly into the Ajax night here. Multiple silver medal finishes. Millets gets a block, getting it back for their offense. And Burns every other right now, still operating inside Bowmanville zone, and we've discussed how they're going to set it even close to the end zone here. Burns feathering it through to Palmer, and things keeping going here for the Lions.
Lee with a big bid, almost had that D. Still putting the effort in. Lions just shredding on offense right now.
Yeah, body language very down right now for the Talents. And of course, that's understandable, being down 8-0 in the final. Gonna have to try to find energy from somewhere, either a player on the team, talking to some of the players, a coach, a captain, whatever that may look like. But right now, energy's a little bit down. If you can get a couple points, a hold, and then a couple breaks, you're back in the game, or you feel like it emotionally. But right now, body language not looking great for the Talents.
Well, and you talk about emotionally, Theo. If they can put one or two on the board, it buoys your spirits. It gets you feeling good. When you feel good, you play good, right? Is that the old saying?
It's true. That's why some of them still got rocking the eye black in the rain, right? So
yeah, sunglasses. I think I saw last game as well in our bye. People still having the sunglasses in the rain. Want to feel good. You want to be styling. It's going to improve your game, make you feel good.
Johnston set to pull here for this Lions side. Talked about Bowmanville's legacy here, and if you've seen Team Canada before, you would have heard the name Jeff Powell. He's a BHS alum. I saw Ryan Polaz somewhere in the crowd here. He's played for Toronto Goat. Same thing with Luke Comire. They both have donned the Talons jersey, among many others. Inside shot there from Averill. Finds his target.
You can see the players now. They're using bigger clap catch and open hands so that they can make sure the disc is being caught.
Burns finds Miller. And it's similar suspects out there for the Lions, and they're going to ride them all the way to a championship. That's the hope. Castor trying to get the bid, but Millet staying calm under pressure here.
Bowmanville holding steady with their zone, not deviating from what they want to do on defense, keeping that zone intact.
Johnson been steady here and in the handler space for this Lions squad. Eventually moving downfield now as Miller and Burns working it back and forth. A little push pass from Burns, some style points out there.
What isn't Burns doing? Looking good, push passes, D's, assists, goals.
Carson Burns out doing everything right now for this Lions team. A little give and go with Miller. Has Millets going to that open side corner, but that throw just dying down into the turf.
I am going to stop giving compliments to players there again as commentator curse.
Knocked down by Burns, so maybe he gets it back. Adam Scott attacking right away, and that Burns to Millet's connection working out once again.
Yeah, Theo, I feel like we could put that one on record and just keep hit and play on that, hit play on that. Seems to be easily repeatable phrase this game.
Bryn Millet's making a name for herself right now. 4 goals by my count. And Adam Scott, Peterborough, making a statement here in Ajax. We're the host of the championships. We want to thank again our sponsors, Discraft. That's what they're playing with. You want the best in the game, you got to play with the best. That's Discraft. Also the official apparel company of Ultimate Canada, now Be Ultimate. If you didn't have a chance to get your gear, you can head to their website, beultimate.com, and grab your gear over there. So it feels like you're at the tournament. Some of you at home might be really enjoying the fact that you are not in the rain and watching the tournament from your nice, warm household.
And Theo, you couldn't see it from the camera. I was watching the Bowmanville line. They ran out to the line. The body language was up a little bit. They know they have to play with a little bit of urgency and push on the time clock. They ran out to the line and they were ready to play.
Shackler, a little bobble, gets it a few times, and now Dow receives the disc. So the defense chant still going for this Adam Scott side. So they know this game isn't over. They still ushering on their defense here. A lot of their athletes having been to offset in different sports, including Ultimate, of course, when they won in 2022. This Bowmanville team has never lost a game in their region. Lost is the region they're in, and I've been told they never lost a league game there.
Really? That's impressive.
That's an impressive stat.
That is impressive. Lots of touches. They're moving the disc, but not gaining much in the way of forward progress up the field. It's exactly what the zone wants. Touch the disc, touch the disc, touch the disc, wet disc.
Nice shot into Vine, but can't reel it in. Wet disc playing some tricks right there. Yeah. Palmer walking over the disc. Mulher switching dimensions here, now getting it back on the give and go. Has Miller's going deep, but Averill hunting in the area. Had a lot of cash blocks in their quarterfinal win against SJR, but haven't seen as much Averill making some plays in the deep space so far in this contest. Rain continuing to pour down here. I can just hear it in the background when there's some time of silence. Just rain pouring down.
Yeah, the roof of our tent above us here. Theo, I look to the flags, which way the wind's going. They're just straight down, stuck to the pole. We have no hint on the wind here.
Well, her flipping it over to Burns, who's going to receive the goal. And with both of these programs, we talked about Bowmanville starting in 1999. Adam Scott was told by alum Kyle Hunter that he was part of the program, that he was a person who's played for Hound and helped start it with Mark Mann as his coach as well. So you're seeing some of that legacy, not just a couple years, but a few years down the road where players are really making an impact in the club scene as well. And so these players that you're seeing on the field, we thank you for tuning in, because you're going to see them in junior club programs as well as adult club programs in short order. They got to be feeling good when they're taking a picture like that on the line up by a big score here. So yeah. Adam Scott feeling good currently.
I think that was a parent on the sideline asking for a group shot.
Maybe wait till after the game, but hey,
yeah,
they're up a score that they are, so they're feeling pretty good right now. Moher set to pull.
Players trying to dodge that pull just in case a little pop of wind gets it onto their shoulder or foot or something.
Fortin's out there, and that's a drop there from Averill. And Fortin getting some minutes, playing for Rogue Squadron, the club team out of Peterborough, the junior club team. And Millets once again, Bryn Millets, another catch for number 50.
Yeah, good hands on that one. It wasn't directly at, you know, the center mass of the body. Had to actually reach out for that, so good set of hands. Bowmanville not really pushed in any of their games. I think they had one close game through the course of the tournament. So this is a bit of foreign territory for them, being down this much. It's been a pretty easier, pretty healthy tournament for Bowmanville. So this different territory, different mental feeling at this point in the game.
I think when we're going to use boxing analogies, other sports here. When you get punched in the mouth a little bit, sometimes you get a little shock, sometimes you fight back. And right now, Bowmanville perhaps still a little dazed. It's been an amazing start here from the Lions. Their players have been making an impact. It's not just the ones on the score sheet. We've seen Swalls out there and Johnston just with the pull there. And so it's different contributions, even if it's moving the disc, playing strong defensively. It's not just always about the stat sheet. I know we're highlighting Burns and Millett specifically, but there's been other players making an impact as well. And Fortin now on the mark here for the Lions. Crawford gonna dial in a hammer. Nice grab there, a concentrated grab. Not an easy thing to do to catch a hammer in the rain like that from Olivia Robinson. Let's go Talons here. Ian Lee looking for Santos. And that works out.
And that's good to see. As they were taking the line, I was about to say my barometer in Bowmanville is Lee. He's been a spark plug. If I see his body language down and I see that he's not engaged in the game, that tells me the team is down. Clearly he was engaged on that play, and he still has energy and drive to try and win this.
Lee finds Vanessa Vine, I stand corrected, for the score. And that's a hold there that they need. Of course, scoreline not the way they want at this moment in time, but right now you just got to continue fighting if you're Bowmanville, get a couple breaks, see what happens. It's only been 47 minutes of this game so far.
Yeah, every journey starts with one step, right? There's your first goal, and that's going to help buoy their spirits. As we said earlier, like, let's see if they can build on that. You were talking about the previous game they played. Bowmanville was the one that raced out to the lead, and Calvin slowly chipped away, kind of ran out of time, but was doing what we're asking Bowmanville to do now with just chip away. Start making some gains here on the scoreboard.
Get some much energy for your squad. Olivia Evans set to pull here. That pull's going to land in and
also
sit right on this sideline, see if they can set a trap here.
It also gets it on the turf, so it gets the disc wet for the handler to pick it up.
Scoobering out of it is Moher. Let's go Talons. Chan's trying to fire up the squad here. 4 female matching players hovering around the disc. Watson on the mark. Williamson is out there, same with Stolarak, who's kind of in the middle of that, behind the main cup, in the mid position. And a drop from Fortin, drawing some O's from the sign, the parents specifically. Gonna give the opportunity here to the Talons. Averill going reset. Castro flipping it back to Averill. I like the chance from both sides. This is really good to see the energy continuing for both squads. The Bowmanville zone offense moving it side to side here, and Watson can't come up with that one. Great effort from Casser trying to make a second chance play.
It was great zone defense from the Lions. Bowmanville reset 3 or 4 times, but we're losing 3, 4, 5 yards every time they were resetting.
Nice around throw. Can Johnson continue it? Goes right into the hands of Casserer. Looks like he was trying to power up a flick, see what he decides to do. He's going to flip it to Averill instead. I saw him in that power position with the grip. He was ready to go there. Good effort from Stolarak, but that throw is going to touch grass, or I should say the turf beads here in Ajax. This is an offensive point for the Lions. Their first one of this contest, actually. Or excuse me, second one. They were on offense out of half. Burns wondering what happened to his hands there. As Jamison now, Scuba fake. So Roman Jamison get really involved in the quarterfinal. And it goes without saying that when you don't hear certain names that we called in the quarterfinal, it kind of coincides with the score the way it is. You want to see some of those people get involved. Some drops and things have hindered the Talons a little bit. But their zone defense has been causing some fits to the Lions, though, at times.
It has. Speaking of zone, look at this zone from the Lions. They're holding Bowmanville at the same field position. Reset after reset. Can't find anything in the midfield. And as I say that, of course, there it is. But it's good to see that. They're finally identifying that forward path.
Jamison, one of these Durham Junior Club players. Gets a disc right again in the middle. 5 yards away, a couple fakes, shaking the mark of Fortin. Trying to get this break here. Ruling in bounds. A spike for good measure from Jamison. Maybe that's going to be the spark the Talons need.
Yeah, you can see the body language on that spike. You know, like finally, a little bit of relief with that slap of the disc on the ground.
We're seeing the Lions. Millett's going to step on the field, Cole Millets, but Palmer's back out there. Johnston, Burns, Moher, Miller, Bryn Millets, most likely, stepping back on the field. I've been told, yes, that is correct by Coach Mark Mann.
You have the inside with everybody, don't you?
I try. But we'll see what the Talons can do as there's a timeout being called. So coaching staff of Kevin McLeod, Chris Beatty from the Bowmanville Talons calling a timeout. And with that, we'll be right back. Have rattled off 2 in a row. It was an 11-0 start for this Lions team. They did play an exhibition series. I was told that Etobicoke was involved as well. We don't have the score lines for that, but the fact that these teams decided to meet up and play some exhibition games to get ready for this tournament, good to see the coaches get involved. And another block. And Talon's trying to get their third point, and Ian Lee hits his target in Crawford. And the Talon's getting some energy right now.
Theo, that's just what the doctor ordered, a quick score.
If you can get these short field turnovers and punch in some scores, you got to be feeling pretty good. So, same line walking back for the Lions. No coach on the field. The players know what they need to do. Whereas on the other side, Talon's getting some instruction. Averill going to step out on the field. Casper as well. Jameson. Williamson out there. Redlarski, excuse me. And Watson, Cedar Watson.
What do you say? Casser still rocking the Hawaiian themed bucket hat there, like he's on vacation.
He's hoping the sun comes out, but I don't think it will.
I like his good vibes. Maybe we can get some drier weather here.
Got a tight bronze medal matchup in the other side behind us. Looks like Etobicoke up 6-5 here on the Calvin Clipper Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for that update, Theo. I didn't even look behind me to see that game going.
Still some action going on. Lots of parents, umbrellas in tow, but they're here supporting their squads. Let's go Talon chants ringing through here.
Couple of Lions downfield. Oh, they were looking to maybe split the deep and force a choice out of that deep defender.
Moher talked about that club team he played for, the Peterborough's Rogue Squadron. So Millets can't come up with that one. And the other number 12, this time on the Talon side, Jameson picking up, big hammer fake. Would love to see both this Durham Junior Open program and the Rogue Squadron go to battle in the club scene as well. Lots of talented players on the field for both sides. High stall count. Jameson forced to throw a hammer. It's going to hit the turf. We'll figure out where the disc ends up, and looks like Lions just going to keep it moving here with Johnston. Castro trying to dive, comes up empty. Burns thought the flick, or backhand, goes with the flick instead, and there's the Averill D block in the deep space I was looking for.
Yeah, you can see a little energy in their step now, eh? A little pep after putting a few goals on the board.
The question is it going to be too late? If they can rattle off some quick scores, really put a scare in to this Lions side. They just need to of course, conserve the disc. It's a fine balance, of course, with that.
Conversely, Theo, you could see on the other side, the Lions started a 360 mark on the Bowmanville handler down near the end zone earlier to force that stall 9 hammer. You know, they're starting to pull out the bag of tricks on defense to force those handlers to make tough decisions.
Jameson going with the scuba fake, gets it back. Some discussion on if it was, you cannot of course self-pass, but if it's tipped by the mark of Johnston, then it would be a legal play.
Yeah, I think the call is that Johnson on the mark didn't actually touch that disc.
Ava Johnston causing some havoc on the mark. Moher had mentioned the Rogue Squadron team shout out. Maybe some of those teammates watching at home. Three female matching cup here for the Talons. With some players hunting on the side for a block, including Hedrick. He comes up, but whips at that one. Johnson getting it under pressure.
So Theo, we're an hour into this match now, if my watch is set to any kind of specific time here. So time is maybe getting onto your mind now for certain coaches.
There is a soft cap in the final, so it's a little different, folks. We'll add one to the highest score after the soft cap timer goes off. See how many points the Talons can rattle off before that takes place here. Let's go Talons starting to beef up here. Mentioned that they won silver in 2019-2018. Bronzes in 2016 and 2017. Millets finds Miller. Miller popping it over, and Millet's gonna catch that one. Nice celebration too from Miller, the shooter. It was a flip pass, but he'll call himself a shooter with that one, shooting the bow and arrow.
You can see the defender look to the sky, mistime the jump. I don't know that he would have got it anyways. It was a nice sort of pop pass over the defender, but felt helpless in midair looking at this just sail over his hand.
Hedrick trying to get the block there, becoming a little empty. Millet's jogging off here as they add in Natasha Swalls for this 4-person female matching point. See who's going to pull for them. Looks like Bryn Millets and Johnston talking, but I think it will be Johnston who will pull. Or now it's going to be Bryn Millets, so Bryn Millets gained the experience.
I could see Millets wiping her hand and blowing on the palm of her hand to dry it off to get a better grip, so you knew who was going to pull. Going forehand pull.
A flick pull. Going to land in and get a friendly roll as well. Shaklar has Davey open in the break side deep space, but instead they're going to go resets and dink and dunk here past the half field line. Bryn Millets almost got a piece of it, but not enough to change the direction totally to distract the catch. Lee, we talked about him being an energizer.
Yeah,
Hammer's going to settle into the turf.
I will say, Lee, I like his energy. He's laying out for everything. He's giving and going. He wants to play fast. That's a great barometer for your team.
For the Lions, as they're knocking 1 point away from a championship, they have several second-generation Ultimate players. So parents having played in the area, the Peterborough area, and then transferring that sport onto their children. Now they're making an impact on the national stage. Shaklar working it with Crawford. Still those over-the-top fakes here. Hammer, and it works out.
And you talk about the second-generation players, Theo. Peterborough is also well known for being an early adopter of having a youth Ultimate League where you get really young players, 6, 7, 8 years old, learning early and moving up through the age groups. It's a good hotbed for development of young players. So they've always had their finger on the pulse of youth Ultimate, junior Ultimate out in Peterborough.
It's also a fun tournament out there too, right?
I've been told, yeah, it's a pretty good tournament.
In the fall, I think. I haven't played it personally, but I know Peterborough also hosts a tournament out there.
Yeah, Harvest, wonderful tournament. I will say it's probably one of my 3 favorites I've played globally in my entire lifetime. A little camping, get some homemade soups and different things out there, so that's also worth checking out. Peterborough is a great area in general, well worth visiting. If things hold up the way it is, you might go to Peterborough and take a look at a trophy. I don't want to write the game off yet, but it's getting pretty close. The writing's on the wall, I think, right now for the Lions.
I'm always interested to see what happens in celebrations, but of course we're not going to crown a champion yet, but they're 1 goal away. Burns going to milk every inch that he can, and Watson going to knock it down, preventing it going towards the half field line. Let's go Talon, still happening right now. Love the energy. Saw there was a bit of a lull before. Body language being a bit more down. Miller being marked quite aggressively there, trying to shake free.
Push pass reset, that's a little confidence there.
Olivia Evans out there, Williamson in the zone, as well as Watson. Stolarak, and they're moving forward here, trying to knock on the door of that gold medal. First appearance that I mentioned in the tournament. And they're trying to win a national final. Got to be calm in this situation. I know they got to be pretty excited. The nerves building here.
I don't know, I'm getting excited just here in the booth. I can only imagine how the players are feeling on the front of the end zone, just waiting for this punch in.
Little push pass reset once again. Burns looking through, but not right now, Jamieson says. Going horizontal for the block.
Not just game saving, title saving right now. That's a heck of a D.
I'd like to see him still play with that energy. He's got the disc right now on this close sideline. 2 receivers going deep here. Miller back there in the deep space. That's going to allow a lot of advantages potentially downfield in front of that deep area that Miller has vacated.
Yeah, you can see the deep defender's got his arms open like, what do I do? Which one do I cover? They're splitting sideline to sideline.
And they're having to move a person back there. In Swalls. Swalls having to move back in the deep space because of that. Foul called by Averill on Johnston.
Theo, do we put the commentator's curse on this game with what we just saw? No?
No, we're gonna leave it the way it is right now.
All right.
Jeff Peters discussing things with Ava Johnston.
Can feel the rain just picked up the last minute or so as well. You can hear that pelting down.
I don't know if they're falling for the hammer fakes anymore because we've seen a lot of the fakes come out. There has been a couple hammers, but not as much as you would think based on the fakes we're seeing. And now, as I say that, a hammer, this time it's from Averill, though. Kasserer catching it under some pressure from Burns. Burns having to back up now so he doesn't vacate his zone spot. And that does allow Jamison to get free.
And to be very honest, Theo, if I see someone in a rainy, wet condition with a hammer fake, I'm not buying it. I want them to throw that hammer.
Evans moving it forward, but it's blocked by Miller coming out of the deep space. Bryn Millets and Swalls going deep.
Got the coach on the sideline identifying where the open passes are. Even as the disc is coming into the receiver, they're getting intel to know where to turn and fire a quick continuation.
And as this final continues to go on and time is not on the side of the Talons, just want to say to all the high school athletes and watching, continue playing Ultimate if you can, because the talent out here has been remarkable. And if they continue to still play, it's going to mean a lot for the junior club teams and eventually these Team Canadas. You never know. So continue playing the sport and enjoy playing with your friends.
Yeah, I was thinking about that on our bye too. We had teams from Manitoba and New Brunswick, Ontario, Quebec here. People made the trek to come and play at this event. So parents and kids that made that trek and made it possible to get here, congratulations, way to go.
Burns gonna dispatch of that Scuba. See if he unleashes a flick potentially to win this contest. It's pinned to the sideline right now. Flips it back to Miller. That hammer works out for the Lions. They can taste the title here over to Swalls. They're being very patient though. You like to see that they're not too trigger happy right now and throwing some different passes, some push passes, some over the tops too. Burns working with Miller. Miller, big fake, didn't even have the disc in his hand on the fake. Had the disc in his left hand. The zone still staying for the Talons. Burns finds Johnston, has Swalls on the right side if she decides to hit her, she does. Less than 5 yards away, Burns catches the disc. Finds Millets for the score, and Adam Scott from Peterborough, Ontario, your national champions. Players rushing the field, they're excited. First appearance, and they win the gold medal.
And Theo, only fitting the two players that were involved in that final goal. It's a recording, and you've been saying it all night, so say it one more time for me.
Burns to Millets for the score. Adam Scott coming all the way from Peterborough, Ontario to Ajax, and gonna leave and go home with a title. Andrew, conclude all the action you saw at this tournament. Lots of great games. If you missed some of it, you can, of course, go back on the Ultimate Canada page and watch it in the archives. But Andrew, some final thoughts here from Ajax.
My final thoughts as a whole from watching this event is that Youth Ultimate is in a great place. These school players have so much talent and so much drive and will to play. It's been wonderful to see them all. You know, whether you're 16, everybody was giving it all.
And for the Bowmanville Talents, I know, and the alumni watching at home, I know not the result you wanted, but you got to applaud the effort, especially at the end when they the Clippers, I believe it's actually tied. It was 8-7, but Etobicoke just scored, so it's 8-all on the other side here. You have to stay tuned ultimately to social channels
it's all right.
to figure that out.
We have a trophy to show her. Let's talk produce. See what we can.
Medal ceremony momentarily.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. We have a trophy.
Actually, 2 hours? Yo, Brad, no practice today?
I was thinking maybe none on Wednesday.
Don't we play?
We play Monday and Wednesday.
Wednesday's regionals, no? That's like conference semis.
Wait, when does the season end?
The season ends in like 2 weeks. Like Ofsters at the end of it goes this week, next week. If it goes this week, next week, then Ofsters at the end of the week after. I guess it could be over Wednesday.
Ofsters is a 2-day tournament, right?
Yeah. It's the same format as this and last year though.
We can't lose next week.
just secured a hacky sack for auto shop. Let's go. Pete, let's get some work in. I'll see you. Oh, this is goodbye? Okay. Oh, hey, this is way tougher than the, what were you using? Like a duct tape? Oh, okay, okay. This isn't regulation. Yeah, we gotta get a photo. We gotta get a photo over here. Hadi! Oh, we're literally gonna be flipped. Yeah, I hope so. Hey, White, let's go over here. Gotta get a photo. Take the bags off.
Anticlimactic ending.
Could there have been anything else more on that music, right? Like, every yeah, put it right at her. Excuse me. Is there any way I could have one that looks like a taco?
I just said no to somebody's grandma.
Oh,
Okay, wait, give me 1 second. I need to ask you.
Rowan, how about we ask if we can take an extra of those? No, those are spirit ones. You can't take those. She's going to ask if I can have a dig. Oh, yes, please. Like, look, if the disc is taco, so I could just take it, you know, and just like put it somewhere. Yeah. So like, if it's broken. Better than an antique. It's not what we wanted.
No, you guys actually got to bring the disc back.
Guys. What they do is take a bunch of those strings.
I don't know what they're doing.
They said that they already left.
Those kids, they took a bunch of them.
Oh, they just took one of them? Yeah, they just came out.
Yeah? Am I also allowed to take it? I'm running away!